All right, we are live, so welcome everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we all doing on this fine Tuesday evening? Thank you all for joining the Fatal Four-Way as usual. We've got Sam, Dan, and Jim. The links are in the description. I think Sam messaged me just prior saying some of the links are going to different channels, but they're all three of them are in there some way, shape, or form. So go and give them a subscribe. Dan is so close to 1,000. Sam's nearly at 600.
Yeah, nearly there.
And Jim, are you 100 yet?
Yeah, I think I went mad after Ricky's. I'm about 200 now, like 190 or something.
So go and give everybody a follow. And yes, we'll say a few hellos and then we'll crack on. Just a little chit chat, nothing too serious. Just a chit chat about how the weekend's gone and how the weekend ahead's looking. So we've got Ricky in the chat. Hang on, what internet am I on? I'm on the correct internet. Teesside, yeah. The Global Thrifters, the Monocule, JR Resells, Carl, Aaron, morning, evening. Who knows any more? We've got John Luke, we've got Welsh Pokey Picker. How you all doing? I've just been playing COD with John Luke all bloody afternoon. So, hi, John.
Hard life.
Yeah, hard life. So,
it's painful having mine there and not being able to play it yet because it's on PS5.
Yeah, Sam. As soon as you're on it, me and John will get you in. It's a cracker.
Thursday.
It's a good one. It's a good one. So, yeah, if anyone else has got Call of Duty, let us know in the comment section below because we'll get you in for a few games. It is a bit of fun. It's hilarious. If you want to win, then you want to be on John Luke's team. If you want to lose, then come on my team.
I'll be on later.
Yeah, and even Jay. Yeah, I'm going straight on it after this. Hello, Zoe. How you doing?
Warzone for me after this.
So, yeah, should we start on with how was everybody's weekend sales?
Oh, crazy. Absolutely crazy.
What we're talking down?
I think it was around about 34 or something that went out. And yeah, my local post office loves me. And the queue outside, everyone's standing there with their Christmas card, and I walk in with 3 bags for life, and I'm like, you might want to go and get a coffee because I'm going to be a while.
What about you, Jim?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've not listed in ages. I've been converting a shed in my garden to a new eBay office. So, but then I got a couple of gaming bundles and I got them up, and they literally everything's sold within 3 days. I normally sell a couple of things a day, and it's just been flying out. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is what Q4's like. So yeah, I think I did about 12 over the weekend. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty good. Finally got rid of some Pokemon cards. Haven't got them lying about, reminding me of being a degenerate.
Yeah, sad times.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam? Did you have a good weekend or sales?
It was okay. It was about 500 quid across Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 25, 30-ish items. So yeah, it wasn't the best, but it wasn't certainly the worst. I'll take that if it's going to be every weekend.
Yeah, mine was about £400 over 23 items. So for part-time, it's quite nice being. I do want to go full-time, obviously, eventually maybe, but I'm quite happy doing part-time at the moment. I ain't got the balls.
Yeah. Aaron says, when does the PS5 arrive? It's Thursday, and I'm counting down the seconds.
Is that Jim's mic?
I don't know whose it is. I'm just trying to see if it's mine.
I don't think it's. I think it's when Jim moves his head. It goes. You've got to stay still, Jim. You're not allowed to move.
He's done a Ricky Lee.
Whole hour. Hi, Extreme Beauties. How you doing, buddy? You all right, mate? Nice to miss your live. Missed your late listing live. Bloody hell, that's a mouthful, but watched it back earlier. Yeah, that's the beauty of people streaming. I watched Sam's back just a minute ago, his live stream that he did this morning or this afternoon for 35 minutes. I was in the bath, Sam. I don't want to freak you out anymore. But
Couple of candles lit. It was just really romantic. Nothing.
Fair enough, man. You
Competition
might
for
be bluff. Woo.
Yeah. I thought he was in there with me. I was wondering why I was getting a bit hot in the old bath. Hot water.
Cold shower afterwards. Nothing wrong with it.
And I saw thrifters on with the Aussie thrifters this morning as well. Popped in. That was a really good chat as well. So yeah, everyone's streaming. It's good to see a few streams on during the working sort of time, isn't it? Really, I think it's a good time to do it. Well,
kept me motivated to list those items as soon as I got them. You know, it's a bit different.
Do you normally do that then? So when you pick up a bundle, do you normally list it the same day?
I try to, and then it saves going on the death pile instantly, or I'll try and cherry pick the best bits from it and get them up straight away, or the easiest bits from it. But this was like 12 Funko Pops, so they're very, very easy to list. 6 pictures, 1 of each side of the box, and jobs are good and no testing, cleaning, anything like that. So it was, when it's stuff like that, I'll get it up quickly, and then don't have to worry about it. I think one of them sold already.
I wish I was more like that. I buy a big bundle and just shove it on my death pile, and then think, where the hell did I buy that from? Like, but we're going for.
Oh, I'm absolutely not like that with everything.
I wouldn't know about death piles.
He's got Death Mountain.
What's them 3 boxes behind you then, Dan?
That's listed. Look, it says listed stock. That's listed.
Good lad. Good lad.
It's everything. It's not.
Now then, David Reese Sales, how you doing, buddy? Here we go. Question for all 4 of you lads. What is your expectation over December? Have you given yourselves a target, e.g. 2K, 5K profit? Be very interested to hear, and will you do it? So, JR resales, I've only done eBay reselling like this so I really do not know what to expect in December. So at the moment, I'm probably doing about 2.5K profit, 2K profit every month now. So I'd like to think I'd get 3.5, maybe pushing 4. I don't know. I buy really, really cheap because Spalding and in my local area is very cheap. So I get a lot of cheap bundles anyway. So my profit is pretty decent in that fact. But I'd hope to say I'd get 3.5K in December. But again, I'm not too sure. I'm not really the expert, and I'm not sure how busy December is going to be. Obviously, at the moment, it's absolutely busy, but I think that's due to lockdown as well. What about you guys?
Ooh,
yeah,
same boat.
I kind of set myself a bit of a target just to make sure that it's worth my while to be, doing the hours. But I don't get upset about myself if I don't get it. Normally, I try and make at least $1,000 a month profit, but I'm not going to be upset about myself if I don't hit it. And like this, although it's Q4, I'm not aiming for pure sales at the moment. It's about long-term growth. So yeah, although it is good, sales are good at the moment, as you say. But so yeah, I'll probably get 800 to $1,000, which is kind of my sweet spot. That's fine. That means that the hours are worth my while. I'll carry on doing it. But if I have a shocking month, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to give up.
Never give up, mate. Never.
Kind of personally, it's the same sort of story. I'm not gone through a Christmas before as reselling, as this is my first year. So it'd be very interesting to see how much of a percentage uplift from the previous month happens. I would like to achieve 4K of profit, which is about 30% up month on month. So gross profit there. Fingers crossed. That's if we don't sell out of stock before then and need to go sourcing again. But I'm sure we can source more if we need to. But seeing as my stock's mainly gaming, I'd imagine I'm hopefully going to have to restart completely come the new year.
Yeah, there'll be loads of new games coming out by the new year for the new consoles, wouldn't there? Yeah, I'm
exactly that.
obviously, because it's the first month that I've gone full time. My turnover before was probably around about the same as yours, Kieran. It's probably around about 2.5. I'm going to try and aim for 5 over Q4 each month. But yeah, that'll obviously depend on stock turnaround. Currently, really, what I want to do is just make sure my bills get paid, and then anything else on top of that, I'll be happy with. But I'm going to try and set my height high, and then be disappointed when I don't make it.
You'll make it, mate. What made? I've got a question for you, Dan. What made you go full time? Like, what happened? Like, I didn't really hear about it, to be honest, until I watched your recent video.
I can't go too much into detail.
Oh, yeah.
But basically, I was going to go full time in January. I gave my employer 3 months to replace me because I used to be a manager in my job. So I wanted to be fair and give them time to replace me and everything. And I was training up my replacement, and one thing led to another, and I couldn't stay, so I ended up leaving. Like literally, it was Thursday I had a job. Friday I left my job. So Thursday I was part time. Friday I was full time. So yeah, basically that's what I was saying before we went live. Sometimes you need that little kick just to push you from part time to full time, because there's so much security with part time. I used to love having a full time job and doing it part time, but having that kick to do it, I'm now so pleased that I've gone full time, because even though I might work more hours technically doing eBay than what I was doing in my previous job, I'm at home. I get to see my daughter more. I get to spend more time with my wife. When I'm fed up with work, I can stop whenever I want and go, I'll come back to that in an hour. I can just watch YouTube as I want without getting moaned at. It's great.
Sam, can I ask you a question about?
Yeah, I think that's what Sam said, didn't he?
With like the PS5, you've obviously selling games. When a new generation of consoles come out, does that affect like the stock you have or your position in those stocks, or do you look to pick up less bundles of like original Xbox or something, knowing that it's going to shift forward a generation or anything?
I picked up an Xbox One S bundle today because people are shifting them because they've just got their previous gens. So with anything, when a load of things come to the market, there will always be some people that have got them underpriced. The one that I picked up today was a boxed Xbox One S, couple of controllers for £100, which is a £200 flip if I was to bundle it all together. I've got another Xbox that I picked up console only. I'm going to take out one of those controllers. But I think as long as you've got the right price when you're purchasing it, you're always still going to be able to flip the previous gens. And there's always going to be demand for them, because not everyone can, one, afford the new console, or two, actually get one. In this case, pre-orders were sold out pretty much instantly.
Oh, really?
So
and do the prices stay fairly constant of the old gens, or they don't dip because there's just more generations in front of them? That
it will take a while, a little bit of time for it to dip. In 2-3 years, when they've potentially re-released or redone another model, then the previous generation will suffer a little bit. But because we're in the early adoption stage where people are just getting into the new tech, when we're in that stage, we'll still be able to flip the old stuff and for relatively the same price. Like a new Xbox One S bundle is still £250, but I'll still push for £180 for that bundle. At the moment. But the PS2 is 20 years old this year, and that you can still sell with a decent amount. That blue boxed one up there is going to go for £60 with a few games, because people like the retro feel.
Yeah, there's always that kind of like, you've got like that middle ground that I'm unfamiliar with gaming. Like you've got the old, like the really like retro ones. You've got the new ones that are either the current gen or just the past gen, like PS4, PS5, like PS2's in the retro. But then like it's like the middle ground that I'm unsure about, because like who wants a PS3 right now? It's not the retro lovers. It's not the people who want current gen.
The PS3s, if you get the backwards compatible ones, they do hold real good value still. You can get £80 to £100 for a backwards compatible PS3.
Oh, really?
The older ones, like the ones that are not backwards compatible, you probably get Sam, what, 40, 50 quid?
40, 50.
Yeah. But the backwards compatible ones, because they play all the old games, and they will just keep going up in value then.
Yes, it was the original PS3 FAT that came out with 4 USBs on it. I've got the boxed one listed at the moment for £180 with like 10 watches or something.
180.
180, yeah. But I've chucked in like a load of rubbish PS1, PS2, and PS3 games. It's probably like 15, 20 games of it, but it's boxed, it's backwards compatible, it does the job, and I've sold them for pushing 120 backwards compatible ones. If you can find them. And the telltale sign is on the front. They've got 4 USBs instead of 2, and then the serial number on the back is a specific one. So if you Google that and it correlates, then you're on for a winner.
The front of them, they're chrome as well, aren't they? Not silver, or is it the other way around? I can never remember.
It's one or the other, but the easiest thing is just by the USBs.
Flaps,
it's either 2 or 4.
Yeah, pull the flap down and
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw the Slimline PS2 2 days ago for $64.99 with 5 games and 2 controllers. So,
and there are definitely rarer variants. Like if you get a pink PS2 Slim as an example, you can push nearly £100 for that with a couple of controllers, the pink memory cards, like just because it's more rare or exclusive. So definitely ones to look out for.
Nice. Did not know that about the PS3. Yeah. Obviously, as Sam said, the ones with the 4 USBs at the front is the fat ones, are the ones you want to be looking out for, definitely. I mean, obviously, the 2 USB ones still sell, but it depends how much you get them for. Like,
if you pick up like a 10 or under, then regardless of what they are, they're still worth picking up because, just chuck a controller and a couple of filler games and you'll still get 50, 60 quid for it. So it's still a good return.
Yeah. And not everyone's got next gen money to burn on a console. So there's always going to be a demand for people that can't necessarily afford it or people that want to have that more nostalgic feel, because there's always going to be someone that grew up with a specific console and then that's the one that they're hark back to when they want to play retro games, and it will be different for everyone what they grew up with.
Yeah, definitely.
How are you evaluating your bundles? So I get the odd 1 or 2 and I try and do it so like if I can get all of my money back selling the console or maybe a couple of the choice games, and I'm like everything else is gravy. Do you do it similar, or do you look at it like game by game and know the price of every game? Because I just think if I can get my money back and there's loads of games or the console left over, I'm like there's definitely profit there. Or would you look at a bundle and go, I know the price of every game?
Now yes, but really? The beauty of having it on Facebook is if you've got 2 windows open, you can just that game quickly search it, price it up, and then work out if it's worth getting. Like there may be bundles that will pop up that will be listed for £80, but are actually like a Wii bundle. The most I've spent on a Wii bundle was 80 quid, but that was because of the quality of the games that came with it. Like there was 10, like 15 to £20 games that came with it, so that in itself. And then I typically bundle stuff that are £5 and less with the console, and then like a Wii Sports, and make sure that I've got the appropriate, like if I've got like the attachments and stuff like that, that will all go in a bundle. Not you can split it up and sell it all separately and maybe get a little bit more margin, but they're not going to sell as quickly when you're selling a console on its own or a sensor bar on its own.
Yeah, I'm a bit like you, Jim. I look at a bundle, and if the games pay for the bundle and a little bit more, then the profit's in the console and the controller. So and I always look at the controllers as well, because a lot of the controllers are worth selling on their own. So if it comes with 2 or 3 or even 4 controllers, it's an absolute no-brainer. But yeah,
I picked up a mental controller. There was a controller for the Xbox One, Sea of Thieves specific controller. That is very, very limited run, and if you've still got the software with it in the packaging, it's like a £250 to £300 controller. Even without the DLC, it's still 150 quid. Like I managed to pick one of them up in an Xbox bundle that was £100, and the controller was 150 on its own, which is absolutely nuts to think about.
Yeah, it's crazy. I always just assumed you were doing like high volume, low margin stuff in gaming, but that sounds amazing.
No,
yeah, there's definitely some niche items out there.
You got to know your apples. That's the problem. I'm too lazy to do my research. I just want to buy Mario Karts and sell them for like 30 quid.
Aaron makes a good point. I still don't understand why and who is buying Wiis. Surely everyone in the UK has had multiple Wiis in each household by this point in time. Aaron, I completely agree. I cannot believe that Wiis you still get 120 or 80, depending on the bundle. You get like 85 to 150 pounds for bundle Wiis.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
Nuts.
Evening, gentlemen. And now then, Andrew, how you doing? He's taking a break from winning the listing challenge to eat dinner and listen to your pearls of wisdom. Well, you've come to the wrong chat, Andrew.
Yeah. It starts at 9.
Yeah, you're the wrong chat. One to look out for, lads, is the orange GameCube. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Or any kind of GameCube. There's a lot of blue one. I think it was some sort of gaming one. I think someone had it for not like £500 on Facebook.
Really? I got a gold GameCube this is like one of the first things I picked up, and it was just advertised as a GameCube, and I was like, I'm gonna grab it. Came with like Double Dash. I was like, I've got to have it. It was like 40 quid. And it was like Starlight Gold or something. I don't know, Sam, you'll know this better than me. Is it Starlight Gold or something?
I think so, yeah.
I think the console alone was like 90 or 100 quid. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever had. It's just absolutely nuts. Like, there is a lot of like weird stuff out there, isn't it? It's like the blue Wii's. Like, I mean, people who sell it think they've got a Wii, don't they? But it's just absolutely not the same thing at all.
Yeah, there's some very, very expensive niche GameCube games out there as well. Like there's a lot in the £40 to £80 range on GameCube games, which get overlooked time and time again. Like I had Metal Gear Twin Snakes as a throw-in once, which is a £65 game because they're like, oh, we don't need it anymore. We've sold the console. I was like, nice, thank you.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
I've got Beatles and Aerosmith and Mortal. Sorry, Dan, go on.
Yeah, I like the FIFAs, like the FIFA 18 and 19 on the Xbox 360, and everyone goes, "Oh, it's just FIFA." It's like 10p or whatever, and you're like, "Yeah, all right, I'll have that." £20 later, it's sold.
Yeah. People forget not the old FIFAs, like the 18 and 19s, because it's the last ones that are made on the Xbox 360s, etc., isn't it? That's why.
There's ones for the PS2 as well. I think is it FIFA 15 and 16 that came out on the PS2. They're the same as well, but they're even harder to find them ones.
Very rare.
Owning that number one clothing reselling spot, Andrew. That's where my forte comes into clothing and trainers. I leave. Yeah, I do gaming bundles because I'm interested in gaming anyway. So. That's an interest of mine, and if I haven't got one of the games that I buy in the bundle, I tend to keep it myself, and then I'll just sell the rest to recoup the money back. So I definitely sell a lot of gaming stuff, but I sell a lot of clothes and a lot of footwear, a bit like you, Dan.
Yeah. Well, I never started as a clothing reseller. I was a gaming reseller, and just because of charity shops, and I actually started selling women's clothes to start off with, and I had no clue what I was doing. I was like, oh, that looks pretty. A woman might like that. So I'd buy it, and when it didn't sell, it would like just get sent back to the charity shop. But I was really lucky. I found someone on the reselling group. He may well be watching. Who just knows loads of stuff about clothes, and throughout the year he's literally taught me everything that I know. And even now when I don't know about things, I go straight to him, and 99% of the time he knows what it is. And so I suppose in some ways I'm quite lucky that I found someone that was willing to give me help free to get me where I am. Because without him I probably would have lost my job and not been a reseller. I'd probably be on the dole at the moment. So some of the thanks is down to him.
How's your return rate with women's clothes? Like, I really struggle with that. And I've always put it down to the fact that, like, I think because of like ASOS and things like that. So my wife does this. My wife will buy like 3 dresses, planning to return 2 of them after she's tried them on. And I'm convinced that's why I don't succeed with women's clothing. And I'm pretty sure it's because I'm bad at selling women's clothing. I'm not sure it's that at all. But in my mind, it's going to be easier if I blame it on someone else than me. But I've never really looked at clothing because of that. And I'll go into a charity shop and I'll walk past all the clothes and I'll go and look at the jigsaws and the rubbish at the back. Like glass vases at £9 or something. But I feel like I'm missing out on such a big market. But I don't know. I just don't know enough about it, and I'm worried about mass returns, basically.
To be honest, with women's clothing, Lee's your best bet. Obviously, Cola Flipper, because he just knows so much. But I basically stick to coats and jeans because women need coats and women like jeans. That's basically so. I won't really pick up dresses or blouses unless I know they're like a really good name. Then I won't really bother. As you know, with charity shops, like 90% of the shop is women's clothes, 5% is men's, and the other 5% is just everything else.
Yeah.
But I won't look at anything other than coats and jeans now because it's just women's clothes is such a niche market because they have such a wide variety of stuff. Whereas men are not fussy. Men go, I like that, I want that, I buy that, I wear that, and then it's thrown in the bin. Whereas a woman will go, I want that, I like that, I buy that, I wear that, I return that, I get my money back.
I think like a bloke, I might be stereotyping, but a bloke's just not going to return it, right? He's going to assume it's his fault. He's bought something.
Exactly,
like, I bought a pair of jeans, they don't fit. Oh, what was I thinking? Right. Whereas, I apologise for offending anyone, but I was fairly sure that like a woman would be like, a woman buys it and goes, "What is wrong with this? Like these aren't the right shape. I'm sending them back." You know, the next jeans rather than the M&S ones definitely fit me. Like they're going back, and but I feel bad because as you say, you walk past 80% of the charity shop. And you just feel like that's so much market, right? That's you're just losing out on so much.
It's all about dipping your toes when it comes to things you don't know about. So if I never try and settle with what I buy and sell. So like if you ever go on my store, there's literally everything from clothes to toys to electronics to working stuff to broken stuff to pretty much whatever I can sell. But occasionally I'll always go, do you know what? I'm going to try something a little bit different. So I don't really sell many plushes or anything like that. I don't really know that much, but a few months ago, I bought a little gizmo plush from a boot sale, and I paid a couple of quid for it and got like £20 for it, I think it was. But it's something that I just every now and then I'll dip my toes into, and the more I dip into it, the more I make money, the more confident I get, the more I buy it. And then that way, if you do get burnt, you're just like, oh well, I'll sort of brush that off, and I'll come back to it again another time. I'll go and do a little bit more research, make sure that rather than going right, I want to get into women's clothing and just plowing through it. Oh, that looks good. I think a woman would like that. Even if you take your wife and go, what would you wear? What she wears is not the same as what another one would wear. So, whereas like with men's clothing, you could go in with men's clothing and go to any man. Would you wear that? And probably 99% of them will go, yeah.
Blue M&S, 99%.
Yeah, exactly.
Done,
yeah.
Right? Plain, yeah. And as much as I'd love to get into women's clothing, like my wife will tell you, that is one of my all-time hobbies. That it's just so difficult, isn't it? I just think it's. But yeah, I agree. I love that. I try and challenge myself every week to like spend up to £3 on a weird item, or like something I'm not comfortable with. But every time I've tried it with women's clothing, it's just come back and I've thrown it away or I've given it back to the charity shop. And I'm just, well, that's £3. I'm never getting it again. Which, who cares? It's £3, but it's never made me want to buy more.
Nah. Yeah, talking about leave alone.
As long as it's cheap, I don't mind taking a punt and taking a gamble on something new. So, but yeah, I'm always up for trying out new things. Obviously, not wearing women's clothing before anyone says anything. Selling it, then maybe.
That's a viral video if I ever saw one.
That's a Depop thing, that one.
Evening all, Sam. If I've got a fat PS3 with a non-working optical drive, can people still download games to play?
Yes, yeah, I believe so. But you just won't have the full library of games to play because not every publisher made an online or downloadable version during PS3s. So it may struggle. It may be worth looking to see if you can get a quote to fix it and what the difference in cost is. Because if specifically it's a backwards compatible PS3, the whole point of it is so that it can play PS2 games as well. And people will need it for the disc, so may well be worth checking to see how much it is to get prepared, and if it's worth doing it if it's going to then sell for more.
FIFA 19 Ultimate on the PS3 sold it for 50 quid. Jesus.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. That's a great sale, Bailey.
Yeah, that is. Oh no, mine was 18 actually. No, so yeah, go on. Ignore me.
Got some Swamp Donkey wanting to return a pair of size 10 golf shoes 29 days after buying. Hate clothes and shoes. I've never heard someone call somebody a Swamp Donkey before, but I like it.
I thought he was talking about with the shoes. I was like, they sound interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to jinx myself here, but I've never had a single women's clothing return, and I sell a lot. I'm quite lazy with writing all the measurements on too. Is this really, really bad? But this is horrendous actually for me. But if someone because all my clothes is pre-packed, pre-ready, it's literally as soon as it sells, it goes in a mailer bag and it's out. I put them all in that plastic cellophane stuff. If I forgot a measurement on the listing and somebody asks, what is the measurement from pit to pit? I just ignore it. I am so bad. I just ignore it and I just wait until somebody buys it because I just simply cannot be bothered to go and unpack it, rip the bloody bag apart. So then I've lost the packaging. I've lost that bag already because I've broken its seal. Measure it and they're going, oh, it's too big. Because they always say, oh, it's a shame, it's too big. All the time. So now I ignore it. I just let it go.
As soon as they get a question asked, they just block them. Because they're like, as soon as someone asks what the size is, this is definitely
going to be trouble, yeah.
coming back, right? Like, oh, you can have the inside seam of these pair of jeans. Not worth it. It's definitely coming back. Whatever I say is going to be wrong when they try them on.
Do a competition. See who's got the most blocked people on eBay.
That's not me, by the way. Absolutely not me.
What I to do because I occasionally pre-bag my stuff, but a lot of my stuff, as you know, is down my unit. So someone says to me, "Oh, can you give me like such and such measurement?" It's a right pain for me to go here to my unit just to get the measurement, just for them to either not respond or not buy it or go, "Oh, it's too big or too small." So I started learning, mainly with pit to pits, what the average size would be. So a large will usually be 22, an extra large will usually be 24, an 2XL will be 26, 3XL will be 28, a medium will be usually 20, a small will be 18. And then that way, because obviously companies size up differently. So I've got a brand new Ralph Lauren jumper at the moment that's an extra large, but it's only a pit to pit 22. So if they was to ask me that and I'd give them 24, I'd probably get a return. But 90% of the time, a size is pretty true to what it is. So if I ever forget to do that measurement and they go, oh, it's a large, for example, I'll just go, yes, 22 inches. And then just hope that I've got it right.
Can you send me that list?
I get really mad now that when I pack things, I kind of know how much they weigh. I don't know if it's the same with everyone else, but like a t-shirt, I know a t-shirt will weigh about 600 grams, and I know a pair of jeans will weigh about 700 grams. And it's got to the point now where when I do the weights, I can just type the weight in because I basically know what the weight of something is just by feel. It's really strange.
Yeah, I do that pretty much everything. Everything that I pack up on a regular basis, I already know what weight it's going to be before it's already packaged. And even if it's a big wee bundle with a load of stuff or a big console bundle, I know it's going to be between this and this weight, and just go on the higher end of it. Then I want to get something new.
It is a tip for Jim. Look for items new with tags. I'd say I get 3 items each time I look at. It's a safe bet and less returns. That's actually a fair point. If you're buying a brand new item with tags, you can't really go wrong. But if a woman is buying it, like you said, women are just so much more like, they want a dress to fit well, to look good. They really want to look good, don't they? And this brand new dress, whereas a bloke can just put a brand new t-shirt on and go, oh, if I don't, that'll be all right. I could just lounge in that. Or, you know what I mean? It's a little bit different.
Women are good at as well taking the new labels off delicately so they can put them back on and so they can be sent back still new, whereas men just rip the tags off.
Oh, it's a size 32, that'll fit me. Rip the tag on, and you can't even get over one leg. He's struggling to get over your fucking thigh.
32, I was 12.
I tell you what, you've definitely convinced me to stay away from clothing. So thank you very much.
More money for me. Woo!
Less competition.
Yeah, that's my plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Put everyone off buying clothing. Don't do it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Jim, don't do it, mate. Sam.
There's so much hassle in gaming as well. It's not worth it.
Yeah, well,
especially if you live around me.
I don't know. I just think like listings as well. The people who do clothing well have the mannequins and stuff and like all the infrastructure. I don't want to do that. Like,
I don't use a mannequin.
Do you not?
No,
you do like coat hanger on the door. Like, that's what I've done before.
Yeah, sometimes I hang, sometimes I flat lay. The problem with mannequins is mannequins are one size and clothing's not. So it's all right if you get the right size. I don't like it when people pin clothing because it doesn't give a true idea. So if I've got like a 3XL top and I put it on like a large mannequin and then pin it, someone that's a 3XL is going to get put into a false sense of security of how they'll look in that top. Now, even though if you're that sort of size, you'd know you wouldn't look like a toned large person, but there will be people out there that'll be disappointed. They'll look at themselves in the mirror and go, this is not what I expected I'd look like in this. And I don't want to return based on bit misleading someone. So I'd rather just flat lay it, because I get a lot of people on Depop going, oh, can you wear this item so I can see what it looks like? I'm like, you do realize this is a small and I'm a large man. It will not look good.
This is a G-string. What's going on here? You know?
I found that the mannequin just, it doesn't slow my sales down. So.
Yeah, that's why I kind of avoided it, because I've done a little bit of clothes to start off with, and I've never photographed well with flat lay or I mean, that, to be fair, that looks quite good. I used to hang clothes on these white cupboards behind me. I can't make my hand go the right direction, but these ones here, like, put a hanger over them so they just had a white background. And I don't think they ever came out very well. And I think flat lay, I don't know, maybe someone's got a table big enough to make them look all right. So I always thought mannequin would be good, but as you say, you're going to need like 5 different mannequins, and then how much room do you need for that? I don't know.
This is
I'm just justifying the reason why I don't do clothes, really.
I use an app called Photo Room, Jim.
Oh, is that the one that gets rid of the background?
Yeah, so you do flat take pictures like that, and then it removes the background and puts on a nice white one, and then literally every...
So that's what I do with mine. I was using the Photo Room app, but I just went and bought a blue table sheet and lay that down over. Like, I've literally got one table and I lay 2 MDF whiteboards, like thin MDF whiteboards, and then with clips I just pin the tablecloth to it and just flat lay picture it, or I hang the tablecloth up on my curtain rail so that it makes like a flat layer, and then just hang it up there. But I tend to find clothes look better laid flat than being hung.
I think men's are all right, because men's clothes are pleasing, aren't they? Whereas women's aren't. I think a men's shirt or whatever, I think both those photos you showed were men's, right? It was a rugby top and a jumper.
Yeah.
Whereas women's clothes are like, I mean, women are weird shaped, aren't they? The best of times.
So, a load of men talk about getting into women's clothing on Tuesday nights. It's just what we're doing. That's how we roll.
Channel. There you go. See, here's a woman's jacket that I've got. So I basically do it the same way. So it's laid flat, and then like you get the arm, and then that's one that's hung.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I've made a large hanger. There's loads of YouTube videos out there on how to make them. It's basically I've got 3 hangers and broke the arms off. Well, actually 2 hangers, broke the arms off either side to extend it, and then got some cardboard so that it pushes the arm out, which you get the same effect when you flat lay it, but it gives you that flat lay look when you hang it. Because sometimes when you flat lay it, you lose the shape of the clothing, whereas when you hang it, it falls naturally. So it helps give that shape, especially if there's like fake shoulders in there to sort of push it out. So like literally, like my setup, I think my sheet cost me like £11, and the hanger I made myself out of a couple of hangers and a bit of cardboard box that we've all got cardboard hanging like laying around.
Yeah,
I think Ricky did a video on that. I think Ricky did a video making that cardboard hanger.
Did he?
Mm.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's loads of different ways of making them. I actually think I followed. I can't even actually remember whose one I followed.
I think women's clothing, All Saints, and Karen Millen are things you find relatively often and sell well, regardless of.
Yeah, Karen Millen
most of the time. All Saints is a bloke's brand as well, isn't it? So I'd be looking out for that anyway.
Karen Millen has just gone out of business, hasn't it? Or was it Boohoo that bought them out or something? So you might find that the price of Karen Millen goes up a little bit because you can't get it anymore.
I never knew that. 100% Kieran, I never reply. 100% Kieran, I never reply.
That's to your message.
Yeah, to your messages.
Yeah. See, I'm not the only one. I'm waiting for some measurements from John Luke from about 8 months ago. Yeah, don't ask me for measurements either, because again, like I said, it's just more of it's just ball ache getting it out of the pre-pack wrapping.
Yeah.
But yeah.
During boot sale season, I started dabbling in shoes and started learning them and had a little bit of success. So I think that's kind of the next stage of venturing out of my nerdy bubble, because they're a little bit safer, I think.
Yeah,
like
shoes
and stuff like that.
A good thing to, even women's shoes as well. That's worth going in, as long as you know the name. So like what someone was just saying, Karen Millen, you'll find a lot of Karen Millen shoes out there for a couple of quid, and they're always worth picking up as well. But yeah, shoes, the only thing you've got to be particularly careful on with shoes is 1, fakes, and 2, football boots, because there's a lot of football boots out there that are worth a lot of money, and then there's a lot that are not worth a lot of money. So when I first started out, when I was watching George Ross and he was going on about football boots and stuff, I immediately went and found every single pair of football boots for sale in the vicinity. And I've just sold the last pair that I bought way back last October, and I sold them for £6. And I think I paid more than that for them. So
yeah,
you want the true level ones, don't you? You want the true level football boots.
Yeah, they do them in like grades, don't they? And I think basically I just got like the cheapo ones that I think they were about £16 new in the shops, you know. So whereas you want the ones that are professional ones, yeah.
Good thing about shoes though is like with most of the big like Nike, Adidas, Puma, they've got that code on the inside, right, that you can check. So I've done that a bit.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind dabbling in shoes. I've not done a lot of it, but
you tend to find with the fakes, even with the Nikes, they'll still put the code in. So if you're ever unsure, always check the code, because 90% of the time the code for the shoe will be right, but the color code will be wrong.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will pick up a pair of fake shoes because the code's in there and go, "Oh, the code's in there, they must be real." And then they then check the code and their shoe's blue and the code's coming up red, and that's a telltale sign that they're fake, because the code, I think it's the last 3 digits is the color code. The first 6 on Nike is the model, and the last 3 are the color code, and that's the one they usually get wrong. There's loads of ways you can check for fakes, like pulling the inner sole out, and I think like real Nikes on their inner sole will have the actual Nike branding on them, whereas fake ones won't, and all stuff like that. But I'm not here to teach you about shoes. We're very wise.
There's a lot of things that you teach somebody about: clothes, trainers, shoes, anything really. It's not like it's a video game where you can pick up a video game.
Yeah, exactly. That's the fun about boot fairs, and I think when obviously they were on, I was challenging myself to buy something out of my comfort zone every week to make sure that I'm trying to learn about new areas, whether that's a different type of old electronic or moving into shoes, or like the Crusade stuff. It just forces you into that so that you can get the low-hanging fruit in as many categories as possible, and then once you've got that basic knowledge under wraps, then you can work on it from there. Because I don't have the basic knowledge in clothing, shoes, I don't have the opportunity to like find something like I would on Facebook and within 3 minutes be like, yeah, I'm going to go get that, or something along those lines. So that's for next year. The over kind of arching goal from boot sales is to learn as much as possible every week, and buy as much rubbish as possible to learn from.
I love boot sales because you don't know what you're going to get, do you? You're entering that field and you are literally there for, I don't know, an hour or two, and there is so much tat everywhere. You think, oh my god, it's like Christmas has come early every Sunday for a reseller, and you walk in, and think, oh my god, I'm going to buy that. You're going to come back with a bootload of absolute tat, but you're going to learn from it. You're going to make a little bit of money on it, and happy days, basically.
I always like to go with the mentality as well. When I go to a boot sale, if I'm going to like try and push my knowledge and buy stuff that I might not necessarily know about, I'll make sure I buy enough stuff that I do know about to cover any loss. So I try and look at my pickups as a whole rather than just an individual. And I go, well, as long as my whole lot will make me profit, I'm happy with that. It doesn't matter if a couple of things don't make profit, because the things that do make profit will cover the things that don't make profit. And then that way I don't feel too bad if I pick anything up that I either paid too much for, or it turns out it's broken, or it turns out it wasn't worth what I thought it was, because the likelihood is there'll be something in it that I do know is worth money that will cover the loss of that. And as long as I'm not losing money, I don't mind too much. That's a good way of learning, not just to go out there and go, right, I'm going to buy everything that I don't know about to learn, because then you'll kick yourself for doing it. It's all about on the whole rather than on the individual.
Yeah, I definitely do the same thing. And I think that's why it's always good to find yourself, and I know it doesn't happen every week, but if you find yourself an absolute banger early on in your boot sale, and then you're like, right, I can have a few punts now, I'm just going to find some weird stuff and I'll have a go on it. Whereas like if you find it right at the end, you're like, oh, I might have had a go at a few things that I've seen, but I wouldn't have done, but given that I've maybe not picked up a few things, I've left them. Whereas it's nice when you walk in, you find one of your bread and butter items and you think, yes, I'm going to make a decent amount of profit on this, and then you can actually go out and take a few kind of educated gambles. That's what I love about boot sailing.
Yeah, and then there's always another one. Always another one you go to. I think
as long as I make
money for the on a Sunday,
I don't mind.
Yeah,
it's like you look at I don't know if you guys saw those fake jeans that I picked up a few months back. I was kicking myself because I should have known better, but the weeks after that, like that massive pile of clothing that I got for £10, I picked up, I think, 5 pairs of Evisu jeans in that, and I sold them for £50 a pair, and then there was a vintage Crystal Palace kit that I sold for 50 quid. So even though I spent £70 on a load of fake jeans that I've still got and I can't really do anything with them, a couple of weeks later, I got something that more than paid for that and covered that loss. So I'm always happy as long as I can cover that loss with something else. It's when you start pushing yourself too hard and making too many mistakes, then you start getting yourself down, and then that's when you can start getting yourself in a rut. And I think that's what you need to try and not do, is get yourself in a rut. And if you do, just take a step back and go like, hold on a minute, I'll just go back to what I know and build my confidence back up, and then I'll start challenging myself again. I think that's why a lot of resellers give up, because they try too hard too quickly. And if it doesn't work out straight away, they think it's too much hassle and they end up quitting. And sometimes you should just take a step back and go, maybe I'm trying too much too quick, and maybe I need to learn a little bit more. Because they see all of us going to boot sales and stuff and buying all these things and making loads of money, and they see something that looks like what we have and buy it, and they're like, well, why is my stuff not making that? And it's like, we spent a lot of time learning, and we went through those mistakes ourselves. It's just most of us don't show them all because we were not on YouTube. more.
Yeah, you don't want to be business too quick, do you? Because you
Yeah.
end up getting yourself absolutely bogged down with so much tat that you don't know which way to look at. So you want to grow at a steady pace, a reasonable pace for the individual, like yourself, Jim. I'm guessing you work full time and you do this part time. You don't want to be like 300, 400, 500 items and then having to do a full day's work, then come home and think, oh my god, I've got 500 items to list. You just want to build it up nice and steady. And then...
I'm a bit weighed down at the moment. Like, I mean, I'm a bit overwhelmed by my backlog at the moment. I think when I've got my new premises up and running, I'd love to have between 100 and 200 items. I think anything beyond that would be like I basically operate on a zero backlog. I tend to buy big at a boot sale and then throughout the week list that whatever I've bought or whatever I pick up at charity shops as well, and then hopefully by the weekend when I'm going out sourcing again, that's there's some stuff that's sold and I've listed, and I just operate on a kind of rolling basis, which has kind of worked pretty well. But obviously COVID's thrown a massive spanner in that when you can't go out. So I mean, the space will be beneficial, but it's going to be a change for me. But yeah, I think I'd be overwhelmed with too much of a back. I see people's. I mean, if I was in your place at the moment, Dan, I'd be having a panic attack looking at that.
I think my wife before I was full time was about ready to hand me the divorce papers. Yeah. Then the only reason she's not handed those divorce papers is because she now knows that we need the money to pay the bills. So there's no point in the divorce papers because the only thing in money I've got is everything that's behind me. So it won't solve her problems.
It is, yeah. Right, we've got about 9 minutes left, which is absolutely bonkers. I don't know where this hour has gone. So we're gonna go through a few questions. We're so far behind chat. We're gonna go through the questions, answer them as quick as possible, and wrap it up. So yeah, we've got 8 minutes now. So we'll get on with it as quick as we can. Dan's putting his helmet on. Cheers, Sam. No, it's not a backwards compatible one. I can swap it out myself. Just wanted to make sure it was worth the hassle. So I think Sam said the non-backwards compatible ones are about 40, 50 quid. So, or maybe 60, depending on what games you put with it. So Lee, it's entirely up to you, but the prices at the moment are around 50, 60 quid. So it's up to you if you think it's worth the hassle. If you can do it, then do it. I guess it depends how much time you've got to do it. I love Dan's helmet.
Oh, that's not the first time someone told me
to say that all night.
That's my type of helmet. Do any of you have pre-filled responses for the normal questions you get every day? For example, where's my item?
I usually say check your letterbox.
Check your letterbox. No, I don't have pre-filled responses. I have automatic feedback on my shop, which is really nice because the amount of times I've been asked, "Oh, I've left you positive feedback. Can you leave me positive feedback?" And I'm like, because it's if you're the £69 shop, the featured shop, it automatically leaves feedback. So that was quite a nice little feature. Sizes vary so much. Save yourself. What's going on? I think I think I'm actually at the part where we're still talking about women's clothes. So yeah, Dave, we were talking about women's clothes for a good 25 minutes because Jim wants to delve into it. Yeah.
He doesn't.
Try him on. I don't know.
He doesn't want to delve into women's clothes. No, I'm happy. Electronic. You don't need a size in electronics. A VCR is a VCR, right? The size is VCR. It either works or it doesn't. That's what I want to deal with.
Oh, did I go talking about electronics? I'm going to gaming, right? And I didn't think this would ever happen. I sold a Nintendo Wii game for a Nintendo Wii. The guy was like, "It's not working." I said, "Oh, send me a picture," and he was putting it into an Xbox 360. And I was like, "Oh my days!" And I thought selling games was going to be easy. I've never had a return on clothing. I had a return on a game simply because he doesn't have a Nintendo Wii, and I sold him a Nintendo Wii game for his Xbox.
I've had a couple where people have bought Wii U games to put in a Wii that don't work, but never a completely different manufacturer. That's impressive.
That is impressive. So yeah, and I've not put them on my block list. I've not put anyone on my block list yet. I'm seriously happy not doing clothing right now. Yeah, I've got about, I want to say about 400 to 500 kilos of unlisted stock for clothing alone. So I really need to pull my finger out and list some clothes. I think, Dan, I'm going to pop round yours, mate. We're going to have a listing clothing day.
Yeah.
I always put measurements to minimize questions returns for each clothing type. I set up a template so it's quicker on list. Yeah, that's not a bad way of doing it, to be honest.
Dan, do you reckon you can wear that in public as a face covering?
I reckon I could actually.
You know what? When charity shops are open up, can you do a video with it on sourcing?
So I put it on the head now.
Yeah, it's just a go.
It ain't gonna last long in a charity shop, mate. If you can't wear it 5 minutes on the street.
That weighs about 10 kilograms. That my neck's like sore.
Yeah, everyone's basically saying you don't need a mannequin to sell clothes. So
no,
that is true.
I mean, it's up to the person. You can buy one. I just don't really see the point. So I had one. I've tried them all. I've tried the full mannequin one, like the on the stand. I've tried the half cut ones. I've tried female ones, male ones. I just don't get on with them. I prefer flat laying and hanging. It's just what I am, and I don't seem to have any problem selling stuff. So I don't think it really adds any value having one personally, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I think with shoes, like most things, it's trial and error. Charity shops are good places to get them. I know my local Scope have to check them before they go on the floor for some Predators for £5. Yeah, Predators are nice. Anything like the old total 90s football boots sell incredibly quick as well. So if you see the old 90s football boots, they're quite a nice seller. For collectors as well, like you would believe that there is actually football boots collectors out there. They collect all sorts of
some weird things. On the one of the groups earlier, someone got a load of re-recorded tapes, and I've got loads up for sale at the moment, and I get continuous messages. Oh, is there old Disney films on there, or is there old like films from Sky, or is there old adverts? Because it's just weird people that collect used tapes because of the adverts and stuff like that. And just ever since I started reselling, it just amazes me some of the weird things that people collect. Like a lot of stuff that I sell, people go, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, there is a collector's market out there for it." And it's like with video machines and stuff. You see them getting. A few months ago, I was in one of my local charity shops, and a guy came in and handed the woman over a video machine. Went, "Well, you might as well see if you can sell this because it's old, outdated stock." And I bought it for like £3 and sold it for £30 a couple of days later. And that's something that guy took in there because he believed that there was no value in it. And before I started reselling, I probably would have been the same. Like a video machine, if I'd had one, I probably would have been like, "Oh, I just might throw that in a bin." No one watches videos anymore.
That's probably one of my biggest sellers is VHS players.
Yeah.
Since doing this stream, someone literally just messaged me on Instagram saying, "Thank you for your videos. I've learned so much about VHSs." And he sent me a screenshot of selling a VHS, which is really nice. And that's why we do what we do, because obviously we're providing competitions for ourselves and X, Y, and Z. But I think it's absolutely amazing. I've inspired somebody to buy something out of their comfort zone and flip it for more money. I think that's incredible.
As long as they don't come and steal my profits from my areas, I'll teach them whatever they want.
Yeah.
I think VCR has been one of my biggest sellers. Oh, yeah. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's crazy. And I think camcorders as well. I love it. I think one of the weirdest things is when you go and buy a camcorder. So do you guys deal in electronics and buy camcorders?
Yeah.
Because I'd say about 15
massively.
to 20% of the camcorders that I get come with a load of tapes. And most of them come with a load of tapes, and I'd say 1 in 5 or 6 has a kind of home porn movie on it. And you've obviously bought this from someone who knows what's on there. Like, and I can't work out, either they know what they've sold you or they don't, and they're just thinking he won't watch it, or they know and they want you to watch it. And there's always this weird thing when I've got it home and I'm like, did they know I was going to watch this video, or were they just gambling on the fact that I'd record over it and we're just like, I don't care? It's just the weirdest thing. I've got so many tapes at home that just say, like, do not watch this again, like scribbled over them in Sharpie. Like,
the biggest question is, though, is how much did YouPorn pay you for them?
I mean, the first 90 seconds is quite a lot of money, but after that, it's nothing.
I think the best one I bought, I actually think I bought it off of a guy who now subscribes to me, because a few months ago I bought a stereo off of him. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy, but this was like last year when I was sort of just kind of dipping my feet into it, and he had a game install, and I bought like loads of games and stuff off of him, and he had a video machine there. Now I don't know if it was his that he was selling, or whether he just got like a load of stuff and was selling it. But when I got home to check it to see if it was working, there was porn on it. But what they'd done is sat in front of a computer and recorded the porn on the computer. You know, like what you used to do back in like the 90s, where you used to set up your camcorder to record your kids' programs and stuff on the TV. It's basically what they were doing. And I was just like, why have you done that? Why have you recorded your camera, recorded porn on the computer? It's like I'm using old technology to watch new technology through old technology.
Tell you what,
I'm pretty sure I split up a couple in a phone shop. For that reason.
About porn.
I've got a drawer full of tapes, and sometimes I put tapes in with the players. I just hope that the porn one didn't go with one of them.
Dear. So yeah, if you've just recently joined, we are actually supposed to be wrapping up soon, but we are now on the subject of
we're talking about four-way.
Actually,
the name fits.
Yeah, we're actually having a four-way right now. So yeah, welcome. Basically talking about buying that have porn on them.
Occupational hazard, right?
VHS, yeah, I got a VHS that had like I should actually see if it's worth any money, because it's an actual like porn video. It's not like a home movie or anything. It's an actual, I think it's like a late 80s, early 90s, but actual porn. It was proper dusty and stuff. So, but it was still in the tape player when I bought it from the boot sale. And the person I bought it from, I know he's a dealer, because he's really high priced, but he puts all his like rubbishy stuff on the floor. And he charges like a couple of quid for it. So I always pick up video machines if I see them, because, you know, for a couple of quid, if it don't work, it don't matter. If it does, it's usually a minimum of 25 or 30 quid. And yeah, so I powered it on. I always press eject just to make sure there's no tape in there. And out this tape popped, pull it out, and I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a kid's film.
When I bought a job lot of 120 WWE videos, there was at least 4 porn videos in the cases. And I'm talking like
when I worked in
Moisty MILF, or something like that, Moisty 4-way MILFs and stuff like that. You think, okay, when did WWE get like this? And the best bit about it, I had my mum with me.
Oh. Dear.
Go on, Sam.
I was working in Carphone. The amount of people you do a data transfer for, and they're like, "You're not going to look at my stuff on my phone, are you?" No, absolutely not. I do not want to see what you've got on there. We had one guy come in who had managed to basically brick his phone, so everything was in Chinese, but it looked like code. And he wanted me to fix it for him. So it took a while, but I did. And as I fixed it, his other half comes around the corner, and the most disgusting videos you can imagine start playing on his phone from what's bricked it. And then they erupt in the middle of the shop, and I had to call the police because they were nearly had a domestic.
And we're going to finish on
that.
On this, Anthony saying, if it was a Facebook pickup, message them back and ask for a freeway if the bird is fit. And we're going to finish on this from Andrew. We now know where the title for this YouTube series has come from.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It was like
Thank you,
video that came out of Kieran's VCR. It was like, I'm going to press eject, and whatever comes out is going to be
the title.
Right. It came out and it just said Fatal 4-Way across the VHS. It's like, that's it.
That is it. This is where the Fatal 4-Way has come from. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Before we leave, please smash that like button. Subscribe to all the guests on the channel today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all on. The links are in the description below, but I think Sam said not marrying up with the person. But all 3 channels are there. Jim's there, Dan's there, and Sam's there. And we'll see you all next Tuesday for the moistiest 4-way ever, as Ricky Lee just said. So, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
See you later.